I got this Suphyee wireless microphone system for cell phones, and I want to tell you a little bit about it. I got a good deal on it. First off, why do you need a wireless microphone system for your cell phone when your cell phone has a microphone built into it? Because you're not always going to be just 3 feet away from your cell phone where your wireless microphone works well. Plus, you're not always going to be facing your cell phone when the microphone works well. The wireless microphone allows you to get anywhere from 10 meters to 30 meters away, according to the documentation that came with this product. And additionally, it doesn't matter which way you're facing. It doesn't matter if you're faced to the left or you face to the right or you turn completely around, your audio is still going to sound good. And it's going to sound good coming from 2 people because you get 2 microphones with this system. So what all do you get with it? Well, I mentioned the 2 microphones. Those come in a nice charging case. The charging case also holds 2 receivers. This one is for Android phones. It also comes with a receiver that has a lightning connector on it for your iPhones. This has a built-in battery. You can charge that battery with a USB-C connector. Once these become depleted, after 6 hours, according to the documentation, you should be able to get another full charge out of the charging case by just putting them in there for a while, and you're ready for another 6 hours of shooting. Finally, you're going to get a USB-A to USB-C charging cord, which you're going to use to charge your charging case. The first thing you're going to do when you get this product is make sure that the microphones are charged. Now, mine came charged right out of the box, but to charge them, you just simply need to drop them into the case and plug the case in, and it's going to provide an indication of how much they're charged. A bit about the microphones: they're super cool, super small, super lightweight, and super simple. There's only one button on the microphone, and they're easy to operate. To turn these microphones on, just press and hold. I'll show you that one button. Just press and hold that one button for 2 seconds. It's going to get a flashing light comes on. The light is flashing because it's waiting to connect to your cell phone. I have an Android cell phone, so I'm going to be using the USB-C receiver. That's this one here. And I'm just going to plug it into my USB-C port on the bottom of the phone. Except, no, I'm not. And why am I not? Because I have a case on the cell phone, like just about everyone is going to have. And the case almost always makes your connector too deep for anything but just a standard USB cable like this one to plug into it. But if you have something wide like this receiver, it's not going to happen. One of the things you're going to need to think about if you buy this or just about any other USB-C accessory for your phone is it going to be able to fit on my phone with the case on the phone? You're not going to be wanting to remove this case every time you're going to use this product. What you're going to need is some sort of extension adapter for your phone. Now, an ideal USB extension for this would probably just be a straight one. I don't have a straight one. This one is angled at 90 degrees, but I think it's going to work fine, and I think we can just plug it in there, have it pointing out the bottom, and then I'll plug my USB receiver into that in that manner. I should have plugged it in the other way so you can see, but the 2 lights come on, indicate that this thing is now receiving power from the cell phone. These don't need any battery power themselves. One cool thing about these receivers is that they have a charging port built into those. So if you need to keep some sort of external power supply on your phone during long filming sessions, then you can use a USB-C cable to some sort of power pack to keep your phone battery charged up long enough to get your shoot done. Now that this is turned on, look, my one microphone, which is already turned on, has linked to it, and you can see the single light on the microphone is no longer blinking, and you can see that the light, one of the lights anyway, on the receiver is solid, and that means it's connected to the phone's receiver. If we wanted to connect the other microphone up, we'd simply turn it on by pressing and holding for the same 2 seconds. It's going to turn on, and it's going to quickly link to our receiver, and you can see both of those blue lights are now solid. that means both the microphones are connected. You do not need any kind of apps or drivers for this receiver in your Android cell phone. You just plug it in, your phone's going to recognize it, and it's going to use this external microphone system for any sort of applications that are going to record audio, such as the video recorder that's built into your camera app, or some other perhaps audio recorder that you have. Going back to our phone, we just need to, you've already seen that I need to use an adapter for my USB-C receiver, plug that back into the phone, bring up our camera app, put it in video mode. That's it, and now it should be using the USB microphones to do the recording for any video. So let's put it to the test. Okay, I've got the Suphyee microphone system hooked up to my cell phone, which is an Android. It's a Galaxy S23, and we're going to go ahead and do a range test. This is at about 5 feet. I'm sure it sounds great. I'm going to go ahead and walk out to 10 meters now. Just want to show you as I walk away that I can be facing away and it's still going to sound good, and still should sound every bit as loud as it did when I was standing 5 feet from the cell phone. Now I'm standing at 10 meters. How does it sound? I'm going to now walk out to 20 meters. Should sound the same, I would think, even though I'm turned around. I'm at 20 meters now. How does it sound? Walking out to 30 meters. I'm out to 30 meters now. If the manual is right, it should sound every bit as good as it did when I was at 10 meters. At 30 meters, which is the upper limits of what this thing should be able to do, if I just turn around now, my body might be enough to block the signal from the microphone to the receiver. So let's give that a test. So I'm going to do a full 360 as I continue to talk and see how it does. Hopefully it's still making a full signal. Now that we've done 30 meters, what the heck? Let's try to go out to 40 meters. And so I'm going to take a walk. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. This should be right about 40 meters based on my pace. Hopefully it sounds good. I'm going to go ahead and do the turnaround test while I'm talking to see if my body is starting to block the signal at all. If not, what the heck? Let's go out to 50 meters, which is about 160 feet or so. The manual that comes with this microphone system says the range should work from about 10 meters to 30 meters max. The description of the product on the sales page reads 150 feet. So the 50 meter test should put that to the test. Here we go. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30 feet. And now we should be somewhere right around 50 meters. Hopefully you can still hear me okay. I'm going to go ahead and do the turnaround test as I talk, as I have at all the other distances. And hopefully you're still hearing me. Now, just to see where this thing finally drops out completely, let's add another 10 meters. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. Should be somewhere very close to 60 meters right now. Let's go ahead and do the turnaround test. I'm talking as I turn to my left, turn to my left, and back facing the camera. I think that's going to do our distance test. Let's go ahead and walk it back in. Now I'm at about 10 meters. I'm going to come in a little bit closer and let's test some of the other functions of this microphone. We discussed that you can press the button twice and mute the microphone. I'm going to continue talking while I press the button twice and see. I've turned the microphone back on, or at least unmuted it, and you should be hearing me again. Let's go ahead and try that noise reduction. There's almost no noise here. There's a little bit of traffic noise once in a while, but I'm not hearing any at the moment. But I've just turned on noise reduction. How does my voice sound? Did it change any? Usually you're going to notice a little reduction in the quality of the voice when you have noise reduction turned on, but I'm going to turn it off now and see how it does. And then I'm going to continue talking as I turned it on like I just did, and now I'm going to turn it off like I just did. Now let's try out the reverb. As I recall, I need to press the button 3 times, so here we go. 1, 2, 3. If there is reverb in this thing, it should be happening right now. It's not an adjustable reverb. I have no idea what it's doing until I get back to my video editing software and play this. However, it's kind of cool and interesting that it has it built into the microphone. I would recommend adding reverb in your video editing software if you have it, but if not, this is a quick and easy way just to throw some in. It could be a lot of fun for some of your recordings. So I'm going to turn the reverb back off by pressing the microphone button 3 times. 1, 2, 3. And reverb should be back off. Let's walk over to the air conditioner and see how the noise reduction does when we actually have some noise to reduce. I'm over on the side of the house now next to my air conditioning condenser to test out the noise reduction feature of this microphone. The condenser is running. I'm sure you can hear it. However, I do have the noise reduction turned off, but now I'm going to turn it on and let's see how it does. Okay, now the noise reduction is turned on. Hopefully you are not hearing the air conditioning condenser nearly as well. Let's even lean over it and see how it sounds. Now I got wind even blowing into the microphone, and hopefully you're not hearing that either. I'm going to take this microphone off and I'm going to point it right at the wind and see how that does with the noise. And now I'm going to turn the noise reduction back off and see how it does with. Probably sounds pretty awful. Anyway, I think this is an adequate test and we'll see how it does in the editing room. Now that I've had a chance to go back and review the footage on my computer, I gotta say I'm pretty impressed with this Suphyee microphone system, especially at the price. You can spend a lot more money on a microphone system and get features such as onboard recording on the microphone. So if you walk out of the range of the receiver, your audio is not lost. You can get adjustable levels of noise reduction, but that's something I recommend doing in post anyway, and you don't need noise reduction on the microphone at all. You can also get individual track recording for each of the 2 microphones. So if one of your speakers has perhaps a much quieter voice, for instance, than the other, it just makes voice leveling a little bit easier. But still, that's something, even if they're both on the same track, that many modern video editing software can easily handle audio leveling. So I highly recommend these, and thank you for watching.